Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Chris. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. Before we talk about what HeadCount is doing to register voters this year, please tell our viewers a little bit about your background and who you are.
Well, my name is Chris. With HeadCount, I've been with HeadCount for a while, 12 plus years, and we register people to vote at concerts and music festivals. And so we're a national organization across the country. We're going to be at more than 1,000 events this summer, getting folks registered.
Fabulous. It's so important, especially considering the fact that we are in an election year this year. So we've got to be at the top of the people's mind, right? So most people are aware of this year's presidential election, but please share why much more is at stake in 2024.
For sure. Well, I will say technically every year is an election year, but the big one every four is what people pay most attention to, which is the president. But keep in mind, this year alone, we've got a third of the Senate up. We've got the entire House of Reps. That happens every 2 years. And then I've highlighted the yellow ones at the bottom. The local elections is where things happen. So so many people forget or just don't even care about the local stuff. But the local stuff is basically where the issues that you care about happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could have the big ticket ones like cannabis and abortion. You could also have the smaller, well, not small, but the less obvious ones like the potholes in the local streets or school lunches, issues like that a lot of folks really care about, but don't realize that it's these people you're voting on that you may never have heard of that are going to make those decisions for you. So it's important to kind of check out what's on your ballot before you head to the polls and make sure you make your voice heard across the board.
Thank you, Chris. We at Team Rayceen love to encourage folks to check out candidates up and down the ballot. That's not just because Rayceen was at one point an advisory neighborhood commissioner, but for what you said, that there are a lot of local issues that are important to voters. And we hope folks will check out everyone on their ballot. Chris, I'm wondering if you can tell us what your message is for young voters and how you are focused on reaching them this election cycle.
Well, the fact that 16 million people have turned 18 since the last presidential election, this will be their first election. And what's interesting about this demographic is that a third of them say they don't really trust either major political party. So it leads one to believe that they're more issue-based voters and actually paying attention to what's going on. It's not just straight party ticket anymore. So that just drives the point home that it's very important to look at the issues and what people stand for and not just vote that way because your parents voted that way, things like that. Take a moment to look and see what's going on and what the different candidates stand for. Like I said, we do our thing at concerts and music festivals, and that's where we hit a lot of 18 to 29-year-olds. We're trying to do the music that appeals to younger folks. We partner with a lot of youthful artists, and that's pretty much what we do, and as well as like street festivals, pride festivals, community events, things like that.
Yeah, and I believe it's so important to really stress about the importance of voting, and especially when it comes to local government, especially when it comes to local issues, especially when it comes to that, because what I've been hearing from the youth out there, Gen Z, and that, they are very, very disillusioned when it comes to the presidential election, at least. But a lot of them are really kind of tapped in as to what's going on in their communities and what's happening, there, locally with them. So some might not want, and I hear a lot of them say, oh, they don't like either Biden or Trump, and they're not thinking about voting. But I believe that it's important to stress how important the vote is, because you're literally not only just voting for the presidential election, all those other things for, as we pointed out before, transit, cannabis, whatever it is, those local things specifically affect individuals. And one thing that we've seen across the nation, especially in the last few years, is a lot of sweeping anti-LGBT things that are going into law, that are getting passed through local houses, that are, getting passed through local ordinances and city councils and all of that. So talk to us a little bit about, transgender voters and their allies, and, why they have a good reason to be concerned about this year's election.
Yeah, so a lot of these things, so we have a Vote with Pride hub. It's headcount.org/vote with pride. And while the issues that we address there, they can affect anyone, they disproportionately affect the trans community. So for example, if your name does not match your ID, we have resources to help you update your ID. Trans people have a lot higher incidence of experiencing homelessness, as well as being incarcerated. So there's just a lot of things out there that affect them disproportionately. So we have the resources to help folks navigate that kind of minefield. Every state has different rules and regs. And then, last but not least, if you're not comfortable voting in person, you can always vote from home in a lot of these states. So you can kind of get the lay of the land on voting by mail as well there. So I personally think these resources are good for pretty much anybody. Our Vote with Pride page is probably one of the coolest things because it has this wide variety of different topics you can check out that either you or someone you know might be in need of.
This is such important information, Chris, and kudos to HeadCount for making it easy to find and easy to access and easy to read. And also, as you mentioned, for showing up at places where people hang out, truly coming to the people to make it easier for them. Can you tell our voters where they can find HeadCount, get involved, register to vote, and keep up with all that you're doing? For those who are looking for you, how do they find you?
Yeah, you can just go on to headcount.org and yeah, it's a one-stop shop. So you can register to vote. You can check the status of your registration to make sure you're registered where you think you're registered. A lot of people move. You may just be moving across town, but that could change the place where you need to vote. So make sure you're up to date on your address, all that business. We have those resources. We can also help you find the rules in your state on how to vote by mail. We can help you figure out what's on your ballot. We can help you figure out when are your primaries, when are the deadlines. Are you moving in 2 weeks, but the deadline's in 1 week? Do you need to get on the ball and do that now? That kind of thing. We tell you all the dates, where to go, when to go, who your options are. It's all there. There should be, you go to our website, there should be no excuses to not vote by the time you leave.
And for those
Fabulous.
who might want to volunteer with you, Chris, how can they sign up to do that?
They can also come to headcount.org and set up a volunteer profile. And you can, like I said, we're at concerts and festivals all across the country. We have, I'm based outside DC, and we have shows almost every week going on at the local venues. You can sign up for one thing, you can sign up for all the things. And then, we try to confirm people in a fair and equitable manner. So you may not get into every event, but we want to bring out as many people as possible to help register people across the country.
Fabulous, fabulous. So everyone watching, if you want to get involved, you know exactly where to go. Headcount.org. We love that, free concerts. So viewers, please look in the description below for links. And Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for sharing your resources with us. I'm so especially important in this year. So thanks a lot for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Primary elections are ongoing this spring and summer. For example, in DC, primary election day is June 4th. Check with your local Board of Elections for all information about voting, including early voting and mail-in voting.
And while you're checking and clicking around, click around this YouTube channel and check out our election playlist. Yes, we have various interviews with various candidates that are running this year. And if you are a candidate that is interested in being interviewed by Team Rayceen, go ahead and email us at teamrayceen@gmail.com.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media.
And click around our YouTube channel and check out our other interviews, forums, vlogs, and more. While you're there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. But most of all, viewers, thank you for watching.